It turns liquid to gel for incredible protection that feels like nothing but my underwear. Always Discreet Boutique.
Heck yeah!
Colbert tonight on CBS.
It's a new year and the perfect time to catch up on All Rise.
Being a judge means being patient and fair. Don't blink now.
It's a new year and we should start doing things differently.
Keep the faith. I certainly vow to do so.
A new All Rise. Watch Monday or stream anytime on CBS.
When the people of Montana are faced with adversity, we find a way to take care of each other and get through it. At Not Bomb Motors in Miles City, we're doing our part to take care of you. Drive with peace of mind when you buy a new or used car from Not Bomb Motors thanks to our lifetime powertrain warranty. You can start by going to our website and finding the truck or car you like, and we guarantee you'll buy a clean, sanitized vehicle. It's our way of doing our part to take care of Montana. See Not Bomb Motors in Miles City.
KTVQ maintains quarterly reports and other records regarding its broadcast of children's educational and informational programming. These reports and records are available for review on the web at stations.fcc.gov. Comments or questions regarding the station's children's programming may be directed to KTVQ Children's Programming, Post Office Box 2557, Billings, Montana 59103, or by calling 406-252-5611. From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 10 o'clock news.
Good evening and thanks for joining us on your Friday night. I'm Russ Riesinger. One of new President Joe Biden's first decisions not sitting well with leaders in Montana or Canada. The president taking executive action to halt construction of the Keystone XL pipeline, which is drawing applause from environmental groups, but not from Republicans or some Democrats here in Montana who are calling on him to reverse that decision. We'll get to that story in just a minute, but first, some breaking news. MTN News has learned that Montana State football coach Jeff Choate is leaving for another job. Choate, who was hired as the Bobcats coach in December of 2015, is headed to the University of Texas Longhorns as their new linebackers coach. He just signed a new contract this past spring to stay 4 more years in Bozeman, but that contract included a $250,000 buyout clause that Texas took advantage of. Choate had recently been in the running for the head job at Boise State, but didn't get that. He was 28-22 at MSU, but did get the Bobcats to the semis of the FCS playoffs in the 2019 season. This past season, of course, was canceled because of COVID. Well, today, Montana Governor Greg Gianforte started his press briefing by denouncing President Biden's decision to cancel the Keystone and asked the president to reconsider. The Keystone XL pipeline has been in the planning process for over a decade. Former President Donald Trump approved the project to move forward, and last year part of the pipeline was set in the ground across the U.S.-Canadian border in northeast Montana. The pipeline is planned to run 285 miles through eastern Montana, crossing 6 counties before exiting into South Dakota. Now, Gianforte calls the Biden decision a bad deal for Montana, one that will hurt our economy.
There is broad bipartisan support for the project here in Montana. Unfortunately, the president's executive action is purely partisan. The pipeline has been under review for a long, long time. It has been thoroughly vetted to meet safety and environmental standards. The project will create thousands of good-paying Montana jobs.
TC Energy is the company hoping to complete that pipeline. Now, they anticipate a peak workforce of more than 4,000 jobs during construction across Montana, but those would mostly be temporary jobs during the construction phase of the project. The pipeline could also bring in millions of dollars in property tax revenue for the 6 counties that it would cross. Now, Gianforte says he will continue to urge President Biden to reverse his decision. Montana Junior Senator Steve Daines was quick to denounce that move. Daines took to Twitter today saying, "I guess Joe Biden cares more about workers in Saudi Arabia than in the United States. Our new president has declared war on the American energy industry." Senator John Tester's spokesperson said the senator is disappointed by the decision. He continues to support the responsible development of the pipeline as long as it is constructed with American steel and respects private property and tribal lands. Tonight, a Billings family reeling after the death of their 19-year-old son and brother. We've learned tonight that 19-year-old Kane Strites is clinically brain dead after he was shot yesterday. His father tells us doctors have told the family there's nothing they can do. So now Kane's father wants to send a strong message to everyone. His dad, Elder Tracy Starr, says, quote, "This freak of an accident of two curious young men cost one life. The friend has to live with this tragic death of his friend and brother as well. Parents, please pay more attention to your kids and what they're doing at home when you're gone." It all happened around 4:30 yesterday afternoon off of Highway 3 near Southview Drive in the Water Tower. Billings police say when they arrived on scene, they found a 19-year-old male unconscious with a life-threatening gunshot wound. The victim was taken to the hospital. Billings police say they detained a 19-year-old male on scene for questioning. He has since been released. Police say they are not looking for any other parties involved. Now, Elder Tracy Starr says, please secure your weapons. Guns aren't toys. Make sure that safety is your priority for your families as well as the guests in your homes. This tragic accident has changed our lives forever. We don't hold anything against the friend. We can't imagine what he's going through at this time. I don't care how bored you are. Keep your hands off guns. Now, Billings police say the investigation is ongoing. Elder Tracy and his wife Heather Starr tell us that there'll be a flashlight vigil in memory of Kane. That's coming up next Tuesday at 7 p.m. up on the rims. The hope is to continue to spread the message about gun safety. Former Billings bank executive sentenced for his role in fraud crimes related to the developer of a huge Billings mansion. 47-year-old Stephen Casher, the former market president of Rocky Mountain Bank, will serve a year behind bars, 3 years supervised release, and pay a $50,000 fine. He pleaded guilty back in June to bank fraud and money laundering. Prosecutors said in court documents and at trial that Casher approved loans to Larry Price Jr., who was building this 26,000 square foot home on Canyonwood Drive in the Ironwood subdivision and other Billings properties. Price, who you see there, was sentenced to 5 years in prison. Many people have received the second round of stimulus payments, and some have been confused, thinking they were being sent junk mail. The Treasury Department may get the economic impact payment to you in one of three ways: direct deposit, check, or debit card. The debit cards have fooled many people who may have thrown the envelope in the garbage. Now, those are Visa debit cards from Meta Bank, along with a PIN number to activate. According to the Better Business Bureau, scammers have also been a problem with the debit cards.
So if you receive that payment in the mail, do not throw it away. You want to verify, because that is your stimulus check. You are going to get callers, and they're going to say that there's a problem with your stimulus and they can help you. None of that's going to be real, because the IRS isn't going to call you. So people just need to be leery of anybody who's calling saying they can help expedite that money, and especially if they're asking for a processing fee. The IRS will not ask you for a processing fee on that money.
FRIDA suggests checking for the status and manner of payment. Links to those websites are in this story on KTVQ.com. All right, Chief Meteorologist Ed McIntosh joining us now with a first look at the weather. And Ed, as January starts to wind down next week already, you're taking a look at what might be ahead for February.
That's right. Yeah, we don't have any clear indications about what might happen as far as temperatures go. Only northwest Montana showing a slight trend towards colder than average temperatures. Otherwise, there's equal chances of average, above, or below average temperatures. There's really no big influence, except for most of the rest of the country that will look to trend warmer than average, especially through the deep south, but drier than average conditions through the south and leaning wetter as we start looking into the northern portion of the country, especially in northwest Montana. Once again, about a 30 to 40% chance that we could have a wetter than average February. Usually Billings would average about 8.5 inches of snow. But we do have snow up into the mountains, and we got a little bit more thanks to the recent snowstorm that moved in. We'll talk more about that in the weekend forecast coming up.
All right, thank you, Ed. Montana health officials reporting 308 new COVID-19 cases. Also today, 4 new COVID-19 related deaths, bringing our state's total to 1,127 now. Montana's total case count has surpassed 91,000. Recoveries have now inched closer to 86,000. Last year, we reported on the Off the Streets shelter in downtown Billings. It serves as a low barrier overnight homeless shelter for those in Billings. Well, now they've been operating for 2 months. Q2's Shaquille Cozart goes back to see how things are going as we enter the colder months.
Off the Streets is a low-barrier shelter that opened in downtown Billings last year in mid-November. Since the overnight shelter for homeless people in Billings has been open, they have been helping at least 30 people per night, supplying them with a bed, a shower, and a good night's sleep.
And these are all individuals that would be on the street somewhere in alleys or in cars sometimes, sleeping in cars, or at the community crisis center, waiting either outside or waiting inside to try and just get some rest.
Barthel says that the shelter doesn't come with many amenities, but some necessary ones. Upon check-in, guests are given clean pajamas that they can wear for the night and later return in the morning. They're also offered to have their laundry done so they can have clean clothes after showering. Barthel also says they're offering storage now.
One of our goals, believe it or not, was not to have so many shopping carts seeing around town. So hopefully the community is seeing less shopping carts because we are providing storage, cold storage, large storage units for those folks to get out of their shopping carts because since they have a place to sleep at night, they don't need to be pushing around sleeping bags and blankets and pillows and all that stuff.
Barthel says that when the shelter first opened, it was outfitted with security systems that are monitored 24/7. But the shelter hasn't needed that.
So people are coming in, they're checking in at 7 p.m. and they're asleep by 8. So they're getting into their rooms, they're taking a shower, they're jumping into some PJs that we loaned them so we can wash their clothes, and they're asleep by 8 o'clock. And they're not waking up until 6 o'clock the next morning. They're getting 10 hours, where that would be too much sleep for me.
Barthel says that the shelter has helped the homeless greatly and has also cut down on some of the strain on our emergency services. Those that are homeless no longer have to call for an ambulance and hopes to be taken to the hospital where it's warm. Reporting in Billings, I'm Shaquille Cozart with MTN News.
Thanks, Shaquille. Barthel adds that the shelter is temporary and in October it'll shut down. The Continuum of Care has a plan to open a permanent facility starting on November 1st. Still to come on the MTN News at 10 here on Q2, from the segregated South to one of baseball's all-time greatest sluggers. A look back at the life of Hank Aaron, who passed away today. And a little later in sports, high school teams hooping it up on this Friday night. We'll have highlights from some of the top matchups.
From Montana's news leader, you're watching the MTN 10 o'clock news.
The baseball legend known as Hammerin' Hank has died. Hank Aaron's family says he passed away in his sleep overnight. Danya Backus has more on the life and work of a sports world icon.
Hank Aaron's biggest moment came during his 21st season in the big leagues.
Aaron waiting, the outfield deep and straight away. Fastball is a high drive into deep left center field. Buckner goes back to the fence. It is gone.
Aaron broke Babe Ruth's long-standing mark of 714 homers, a record that many considered unbreakable. The slugger's mother was among the fans who swarmed the field to celebrate the milestone. She raised him and her 7 other children in a segregated neighborhood in Mobile, Alabama.
I remember many times, as a little boy growing up, that the Ku Klux Klan would come marching down the street for no reason at all. My mother would tell me, said, son, go hide under the bed.
In 1952, Aaron joined the Negro League's Indianapolis Clowns. He was so good, the Braves purchased his contract for $10,000 and brought him to the majors less than 2 years later. By his second season in Milwaukee, he was an all-star, an honor he would retain for the next 2 decades as one of the most feared hitters in baseball. Despite his success, Aaron became a target as he approached Babe Ruth's home run total.
I got millions and millions of pieces of mail from people that were resentful simply because of the fact that who I was, and they just was not ready for a black man to break that record.
The hate mail and death threats didn't stop him.
What a marvelous moment for the country and the world. A black man is getting a standing ovation in the Deep South.
Hank Aaron retired as baseball's home run king in 1976. His reign ended in 2007 when Barry Bonds hit his 756th home run. Aaron said he hoped his accomplishments might inspire others to chase their dreams. Henry Louis Aaron was 86 years old. Danya Backus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Hank Aaron was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1982. He's survived by his wife and 6 children. Taking a live look outside from the Stockman Bank weather cam on this Friday night. Ed will join us next with your full forecast. You're watching the MTN News at 10 here on Q2.
Storm Tracker weather starts now with meteorologist Ed McIntosh.
Welcome back. I want to thank Mark for sending in this picture. Remember, you can always share these great pictures with us either on social media or Facebook page. You can also just email it to us at weather@ktvq.com. And if you downloaded our free app, you can also upload pictures and videos to us that way as well. Let's start with the almanac for today. 31 degrees, but we started off at 17. It's the coldest that we've been since back to December 13th. So it's been almost 6 weeks since we've chilled down into the teens. And with the sunset tonight at 5:06, we didn't pick up any extra precipitation after the very light snow that we had in the Billings area last evening. So for the month, we're still running behind as far as total precipitation, and it doesn't look like we're going to add much to that here as we start getting into the next 7 days. We're at 22 degrees officially at the airport, just a little bit of a northwest breeze as we take a look at the Stockman Bank weather cam. High temperatures today. I mentioned the 31 in Billings, a lot of 20s and 30s across the state, but it was the morning temperatures that got most of the attention as a lot of the readings were dropping down. Miles City at 7, same thing in Dickinson, North Dakota, 16 for you in Worland, 14 for you in Livingston this morning. Single digits also around Great Falls and Lewistown, some 20s in western Montana, but we also had some areas of fog there as well. So now with the temperatures again dropping back down, we're already in some single digits along areas from Lewistown to the north. We'll be looking at the readings to be chilly in the morning. In fact, a lot of these temperatures will just sort of flatten out tonight. But there isn't any snow cover across most of eastern Montana. There is here as we start looking into the Beartooth and the Bighorns over into western Montana. That's enough to keep some of the chill going in the air. But we did pick up some accumulations through the overnight and early morning hours. 3 inches around Columbus, several inches around Livingston as well. Bozeman just a little bit, and then we picked up an inch or two in a few locations as we start looking into the Bighorn Mountains of northern Wyoming. So we're watching this low pressure trough here as we start watching the next 24 hours. This could be pulling up a little bit of moisture into the northern portion of Wyoming, southern Montana. And then we have another disturbance that's coming down from Manitoba, and that will push down enough cool air to keep the temperatures below seasonal averages through the weekend. So tomorrow morning, we can look for a few stray flurries or snow showers, especially for the Bighorns. And then this next round of cooler air will move in. So temperatures don't nudge too much through the day tomorrow. We'll start off chilly and we'll end up with readings in the 20s and 30s. On Sunday, as this high pressure area builds in, it will kick in the winds a little bit in the Livingston Big Timber area. That'll push off into the eastern plains. Across the region, we'll be looking for temperatures tonight to settle down into the single digits and teens, some 20s through northern Wyoming, where we're going to hold on to some of that cloud cover. Tomorrow, we'll look for daytime highs to edge up mainly into the 20s and 30s by later on in the day. And across the region, we'll be looking at a mix of clouds and sunshine. Statewide, most of the readings will be into the mid-20s to mid-30s with a mix of sunshine and a few clouds across northeastern Montana by later in the day. Snowfall, for the most part, should be pretty light. A lot of that will just kind of focus on areas of northern Wyoming. So our day planner heading into tonight and tomorrow, we'll look at 20s to 30s by the time we start getting into the afternoon, and a lot more of the same coming up in the next several days. We'll start off in the teens, warm up into the 30s, some low 40s, and then we'll see the temperatures begin to rise once we get past there. That does it for weather. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Ed. And we'll be right back with Scott Breen and a look at sports.
Hello everybody and welcome to the weekend crosstown basketball action here inside the Senior High Gymnasium for the second time in 24 hours. Seniors guys edged west last night. Seniors girls trying to hold court against Skyview in this one. Fast-paced into the second quarter where Skyview held a 1-point lead, adding to it. Brooke Berry finds MG Spotted Bear for a corner three. Then it's Berry to the freshman Brianna Williams. Same corner, same result. Then she fires inside to Bella Bryan, part of a 12-0 Skyview run for a 30-18 lead. Senior brings pressure. Midcourt steal. Sophomore Lauren Cummings finishes. Bronx still down 30-21 at halftime. Third quarter, Kara Conway in transition. She scores. Bronx back within 9 after trailing by 14. But Jessie Hankel had a nice night for Skyview. She fires from outside and connects. Then it's Hankel again. Skyview builds a double-digit lead at Senior. Holds off the Bronx to win it tonight.
It was just so fun to be able to go out 5 games deep. Where do you think you are in comparison to a year ago?
Yeah, I think we're definitely making great improvements this year, and just being able to know our teammates better and know what coach expects from us this year is just a lot of fun to be able to see our improvement from last year and how much we've grown as a team.
Seniors saddled with a quick turnaround for another crosstown game tomorrow afternoon, 2 o'clock over at West. So long from Billings Senior, Scott Breen, MTN Sports.
Happy Friday night, everybody. I'm Alec Boffinger out in Laurel. We've got a little cross-class clash in basketball as Columbus is in town to take on the Locomotives. Laurel picked up 2 big wins last week over Billings Central and Hardin, and they're looking to keep going full steam ahead.
Columbus on the board first, though. Some good ball movement leads to a Caden Meyer triple from the left wing. Laurel had a big size advantage down low tonight. Coulter Bales gets the little fadeaway jumper to fall. Baskets were a little tough to come by. Freshman Mason Meyer, a little crossover and pull up from the top of the key, and Columbus leads at 13-10 at the break. Third quarter, Emmett Renner getting downhill for Laurel, bucket and the foul. Columbus has an answer. Mason Meyer with the slick bounce pass to Matt Ivankovic, and he gets the hoop in the harm, and Cougars up 4. Locos got a spark from this guy tonight. Cross-court pass finds Dalton Bowler for a corner triple. The freshman from Columbus made some big plays, though. Corner 3 for Mason Meyer, and Columbus has a fourth quarter lead. But Bowler had some more in the tank. Renner finds him for another 3, seemingly the only Laurel guy able to knock one down tonight. And he closes it on the defensive end, sticks his hand in the cookie jar, and comes out clean as the Locomotives hold off the Cougars 32-31. We'll have more from this game tonight at montanasports.com. For MTN Sports, I'm Alec Boffinger.
All right, thanks, Alec and Scott. And as Alec just mentioned, you can always find more highlights and scores on montanasports.com. All right, up next is taking America by storm. Bernie Sanders, memes and mittens. Find out where they're popping up close to home next. Well, by now you've probably seen an image of Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders at Wednesday's inauguration. And if you've been on the internet in the last 2 days, you've probably seen some very amusing photoshopping, placing the senator in all sorts of different scenes and situations. Well, Montana's also getting in on the fun. Q2's Krista Rose has more.
At Wednesday's inauguration, Senator Bernie Sanders was spotted wearing a beige parka with what appeared to be some very warm, homemade mittens. Turns out the mittens were made for Senator Sanders by a Vermont school teacher named Jen Ellis, who told CBS earlier this week how flattered she was to see her mittens at such an important event.
People wear things from famous fashion designers to the inauguration, and there was Bernie wearing mittens that I made, in my craft room with a sewing machine that my mother gave to me when I was 12.
Senator Sanders has been taking the fashion attention in stride this week, but he tells CBS that he was just trying to keep warm. But the photo of Bernie sitting with his mittens has gone viral and has been photoshopped into many different scenes from movies, famous pictures, and even everyday life. And he's even made his way here to Montana. The Downtown Billings Alliance posted on their Facebook page saying, "Hey, if the Montana Brewing Company patio was open in January, Bernie would be prepared." Bernie was also spotted in Red Lodge, Montana, outside the Prerogative Kitchen restaurant. Looks like he just helped them shovel the walk. And the Montana Grizzlies football fans' Facebook page had this image with the caption reading, "Waiting patiently for Grizz football to return." But what might be the best Bernie in Montana image so far is Bernie at Bernie's Diner here in Billings. Reporting in Billings, Krista Rose, MTN News.
Thanks, Chris. And I have a feeling Bernie won't be the only one wearing mittens. Let's check in with Ed about the cold weather. Ed?
Yeah, that's right. Temperatures into the teens overnight again tonight. And in fact, we're going to see a stretch of teens in the mornings and 20s and 30s for the daytime highs. Day planner shows temperatures moving up into the low 30s by the later hours of tomorrow, but we'll also see some sunshine break through by later in the day. In the extended outlook, temperatures go from the 30s and near 40 on Sunday. Have a mix of clouds and sunshine, but partly we'll see those temperatures rise because the breeze will pick up just slightly, especially around the Livingston area, settle into more low 30s early in the week. One thing we don't see anywhere across the board there, Russ, is that there's a chance of snow. It's mainly quiet afternoons. Temperatures are at or colder than average through Tuesday and then start to warm up a little bit by the time we start getting into next weekend. So you're right. We need some mittens here over the course of the next few days, and then we'll get into a little warmer weather pattern by next weekend.
All right. Thank you, Ed. And we certainly want to thank you for joining us. We're back tomorrow night at 5:30. Hope you have a great weekend, everyone.